Hello. It's been a while since I've done a video. You're welcome. But today is August 30th, and it is National Grief Awareness Day. And it is the 11th anniversary of my husband's suicide, so that felt like a video waiting to happen. In honor of grief awareness, I'm very happy to report that after 11 years, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of my husband is no longer sorrow. Sorrow is still there. It always will be. But the first thing that comes to mind is a wonderful, joyful gratitude. He brought things into my life no one else could have, and I am so grateful. Now I'm right back in the throes of grief because my childhood best friend died 2.5 months ago. So the whole vulnerability growth thing is very active and alive. And I'm a big fan of the gifts of grief. And what that looks like is I sit down with grief's voice, which is my soul. And I admit what's hurting, what I'm mad about, what I wish I had more of. Basically, I whine. And then I hit a wall every time. I hit a wall. And I said, no, wait, no, too much. I can't do this anymore. I just won't do this anymore. And grief, my soul, always says, oh, honey, it's okay. You know what? Take a break. Just let it process and come back and we'll talk, because the more we own our realities, there's grace to be had and there's healing to be had. But this is the tricky part, the coming back part, because as a culture, we're taught to pretend grief for a little while, like I just demonstrated, and then we never come back because the whole pressure is stay busy, 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 and don't cry, and just don't feel anything, and why don't you go help somebody else? That always makes you feel better, and how you can help someone else when you're the one needing help. I won't go there, but anyhow. That works for a while. It works really well for a while. But what inevitably happens is another grief slams you. And when that happens, it doesn't have to be another death. It could be you didn't get the promotion that you so deserved it at work, or any variety of things. But your reaction to this new grief is way out of proportion. And that's because you didn't go back for the grace part. So I am a huge fan of grief. So I have a gift for you. And this is to honor my husband and my friend who gave me these earrings, so she's with us. I have a YouTube video, and it's the culmination of those videos that miniature little vignettes that I posted months ago, early in the pandemic. That was when I was self-sequestered in Oregon while New York City was being ravaged by the coronavirus. At that time, I was afraid to touch a doorknob or a cereal box, but I did convert my kitchen into a state-of-the-art video studio. Not. So this YouTube is homemade. It's ticky-tacky. It's accidentally comical at my expense. And it's heartfelt, and it's truthful, and best of all, it's disarming. So I invite you to spend an hour with a suicide widow, because who knew, it ended up being a whole hour. And I really invite you then, if you find it valuable, you don't have to, I'll never know, share it. If you're fortunate enough to still have your spouse alive, or you're fortunate enough to still have your best friend from childhood alive, or there are other really important people in your life, you can send them. I mean, it's YouTube, it's everywhere. It doesn't cost anyone anything. And then talk about it after you've each watched. Because when I teach, what happens is you start to talk about grief and a wall goes up. And you talk about suicide and a fortress goes up. But for some reason, suicide widow etiquette disarms. And as that happens, hearts open. The discussions that follow anytime I teach are really, really a blessing. And that's what I wish for you. So today on National Grief Awareness Day, I will post a link. Heads up, this is me doing it. My daughter's not here. Odds are the link won't work. But Suicide Widow Etiquette Pandemic Edition on YouTube. Pandemic Edition sounds like there's going to be more. I'm really not aware of that, but you never know. Maybe I will. Anyhow, happy August 30th.